Hello everyone, this is Kyle Warsinski. I'm going to do a brief overview on our ethical theories and how they apply in public administration. First we have St. Thomas Aquinas and his natural law theory and the concept of that God preloaded us with rules that we know naturally. And he's preloaded us with these basic goods, and I'm not going to go into those for sake of time, but they really are the key goods that God has loaded us with, and which forces us or really pushes us to take action based on those. So you instinctually know what to do based on those basic goods, the influence and their influences on your life and your choices, which choice to make morally. So then we have Immanuel Kant, his categorical imperatives, and it really talks about commanding you to follow a certain set of actions regardless of desires, but based on reason. So the little thing I put together, or that I found, was this funny slide over here, and really, if someone was to act on their desires, they would do neither of those tasks, but based on reason, you have to do both. So that's why I thought that was funny and to include it in this. But Kant pushes a universal sizability principle. I probably said that wrong, I apologize. But it applies things that apply universally shall be treated as a universal law, and people should act upon those because everyone else agrees with them. So a good thing is that universally stealing is wrong. If it was correct, then everyone would be able to steal, and then you would get stuff stolen from you, you'd have to steal it back. So another thing is his formula of humanity, in which a person is self-acting. They can create a reasonable decision based on the facts at the time. This does suppose that they have all the facts at the time and no one's trying to deceive them. And his key component is that you really should make your moral decisions and actions treating people as an ends and not a means. So you should not be taking an action that only benefits yourself and potentially harms someone else in doing so. Next we have Jeremy Bentham, and John Stuart Mill and utilitarianism, and that is based on results only. So your actions and intentions that are being performed are irrelevant. It employs the principle of utility, and that is the concept of the greatest good for the greatest number, all measured on happiness and pleasure. And I'll get into that a little bit further on another slide. This one I found, so is please answer true or false. If I were a chicken, I'd gladly suffer and die to become a nugget. So I really like chicken nuggets, so very possible that if I had to answer that question, it may be yes, because the greater good would be everyone got to eat chicken nuggets. Next we have Thomas Hobbes and his contractitarianism, and what that talks about is that free people that are self-interested, so they can make their own decisions, want to cooperate with other people in society because it's more beneficial for them to cooperate than it is to run all for all. So joining forces to make contracts and rules throughout society that everyone should follow is more beneficial because there is a sense of peace or harmony, or things are taken care of the right way, or they're not offending other people. So taking actions to follow those rules is moral. Taking actions to object or disobey those rules is immoral. And I'll get into that on a further slide. So my first example is utilitarianism, and in the city government that I work in, unfortunately we have to make decisions for the betterment of the community, and a good example of this is the unfortunate topic of eminent domain. It's very touchy at City Hall, but a good example is if you have to build a freeway ramp and there's 3 or 4 houses in the way, the city may take an action to benefit the greater number of people, which is the rest of the community or even the region, by demolishing those 3 or 4 houses. Of course, we pay those people money for the houses and help them relocate, but that is a good example of utilitarianism in play in public administration. The next I have is under Hobbes' contractitarianism, is following laws or establishing laws that better the community. So we have the penal code, which makes things illegal to harm people or to steal people stuff. And then we have like the vehicle code, or everyone knows that to get a driver's license you have to pass a test with your proficiency on the vehicle code and the highway code. So what that does is, by following those, it makes the society safer, and it prohibits people from doing things that negatively affect other people. So lastly is applying Aristotle's virtue theory in public administration, and it's a tough subject to talk about. So I mean, personally, I think that we as public administrators really strive to be virtuous people, and we try to continue to better ourselves and to be open and honest and treat people right. But sometimes our decisions are going to be guided by the politicians and the laws that are set forth, or, whether it's state or local laws. So I would have to say that at like a personal level, I think that people in city halls or in public administration are striving to be virtuous, but I think our decision makings are going to be more rooted with utilitarianism and contractitarianism versus the virtue theory. So thanks for listening to my summaries and real world examples on ethics, and really look forward to reading or listening to everyone else's presentations. Thank you.